John, and a beautiful day for baseball, beautiful day for dogs to come to the park. Pups in the park, Angels and Dodgers, final game of this three-game series. We welcome you inside. Hope you're having a great Sunday. Joe Davis and all Hershiser. The Dodgers swept by the Angels last year in the 6 games. They've got a chance today to complete a return of that favor.
Yeah, that'd be their 6th sweep of the year. You know the thing that they're doing? They're playing well against good teams, and they're beating the teams they should.
Let's go down to Kirsten Watson.
Thanks, Joe. Since May 13th, the Dodgers are 18-5. But talking to Dave Roberts, what he believes has led to that success, it starts with the starting pitcher. Those guys have set the tone. They've been efficient. They've been getting deep into the game, allowing for their offense to get going. We have seen bursts from the offense. We've also seen them being a little bit quiet, but ultimately they feel really good just where the quality of at bats are at right now and guys getting on base. Now today the lineup is going to look a little bit different. No Will Smith. He of course was scratched ahead of the game yesterday, dealing with some neck tightness, but I just spoke to him a minute ago. He said that he's feeling better, and even Dave Roberts said right now they're just taking advantage of, they can give him 3 days in a row down with the team off day tomorrow, but they expect him to be back in the lineup on Tuesday, guys.
All right, Kirsten, and as far as the lineup, it hadn't really mattered who's been in there just because the pitching has been so good. Emmett Sheehan's going to go for the Dodgers today. Jose Soriano goes for the Angels in a good matchup.
Yeah, it is a really good matchup, but you know what? These guys are going in opposite directions right now. Soriano, the needle is kind of pointing down, and Sheehan, the needle is pointing up. One guy needs to avoid walks. The other guy needs to avoid the home run.
All right, Dodgers going for the sweep this weekend, and in the season series against the Angels. Final game of the Freeway Series coming up on Sportsnet LA.
TryGravity.com. It has been complete domination by the Dodgers this season over the Angels. The Dodgers have won all 5 games, outscoring the Halos 41-5. And look at the batting averages with runners in scoring position. 083 for the Angels, almost 400 for the Dodgers. Dodgers have hit 7 homers to the Angels 1. And as you would expect with those numbers, the pitching is very one-sided. Angel starters ERA 10.5. Their relievers ERA approaching 6. Dodger starting pitchers, the ERA is 1.2, and the bullpen has not given up a run. D-Train Dodgers looking to finish off what has been a dominant run during this Freeway Series and win all 6 games.
When I look at those numbers, that means get ahead and stay ahead and do not give any life to that other side. They are struggling. They cannot figure out how to get you guys out. Continue to have pedal to the metal and continue to cover the baseball. Hit it to all fields. They're going to have a lot of traffic, and they're going to continue to cash in, like Jay Aaron said in the pregame show.
I love their approach with runners in scoring position. You continue to do that. This pitching staff makes mistakes. Now, Soriano, a tough task. If he's on, tough cookie, but make sure you swing at strikes and put on a show for that beautiful family right there, the Bryants.
And he did have a hard time throwing strikes last time when the Dodgers faced Soriano and the Angels. He walked 6, only allowed 1 hit, but because of the 6 walks, the Dodgers cashed him in for 6 runs. It will be Emmett Sheehan taking the mound for the final game of this homestand against the Angels right after the break.
Plus online.
Back-to-back world champion Dodger baseball on Sportsnet LA is brought to you by Carl's Jr. The real sourdough star is back at Carl's Jr. You can get it for just $5.99 for a limited time. And by your Southern California Lexus dealer, who invites you to test drive a Lexus today. Well, the Dodgers looking for the sweep today and looking to ride more excellent starting pitching. It was Yamamoto yesterday going 8 innings. And the Dodgers starters last 4 games have given up just 1 run. The streak now extends 13 games where they've given up 2 runs or fewer. The best starting staff in baseball this year, and better than ever these last couple of weeks. And Emmett Sheehan, not quite the boldest headlines when you compare to what we've seen from Yamamoto with the World Series MVP hardware, Ohtani and his Cy Young pursuit. Even Sasaki lately gets more talk, but Emmett Sheehan quietly going about his business better and better.
Really has. There's an improvement on the fastball. The thing that he has to watch out for is when he's in hitters counts, not to make the fastball mistake, and especially in the first inning, because he hasn't established anything on first pitch or first inning, so they're going to be sitting on the heater, and you don't want to make a mistake with that. First inning ERA is over 8, but after that he's been really, really good. But we continue to see him progress as a starting pitcher because of the fastball command is getting much better.
Yeah, the league hitting just 128 against that fastball his last 4 games. It was above 400 before that. The lineup that he'll face off with on this beautiful Sunday afternoon looks like this. Zach Neto leads off for the Angels. Then Mike Trout DHs today. Wade Meckler's in left field hitting third. Oswald Peraza's at second and hitting cleanup with Nolan Shonowell. They got back from injury yesterday. He's the first baseman and 5-hitter. In right field, it's Joe Adell. Nick Madrigal at third base. Jose Siri is in center field with Trout DHing. And Sebastian Rivero does the catching for Kurt Suzuki. Dodgers have won 18 of their last 23 games. Trying to finish off the sweep of the season series over the Angels. They have dominated the first 5 matchups 41-5. They've outscored the Angels. 2 very different games in this series. The 1-0 pitchers duel. Freddie Freeman walk-off home run on Friday night. And the 9-2 win yesterday where they got all 9 runs in the first inning. And then faced. Neto climbs in. Sheehan through his wind. Off we go with strike 1. Fastball, swing and a miss. Sheehan coming off 6 1/3 against the Diamondbacks on Monday. Gave up just 2 runs. Only 3 hits in that game, but 2 of those 3 hits were homers, and you were touching on this during the pregame show. That's really the last thing standing between him and complete dominance. More than 60% of the runs that he's given up have come off homers.
It is sometimes a fastball mistake, and sometimes he's got a great chase slider, but that's when it's off the plate. But when he's throwing his slider for a strike, sometimes he gets underneath it and it's a little flatter. And so when it's in the strike zone, it's the easier pitch to hit. When they chase it, it's the sharp one. You'd love to get it to a combination of sharp plus strike.
And home runs had not really been an issue for him before. The home run rate this season double what it was last year. You know, sometimes there are guys where that is their profile and you just kind of live with it. The encouraging thing about him is this doesn't have to be part of his game. Here he comes to the 1-2 to Neto. Fastball is fouled back.
And that's a perfect example of the better fastball and the better fastball command. 1 and 2 count going up in the strike zone. Be low enough that the hitter wants to swing at it, but high enough that it's hard to hit. The one that gets hurt is the one that's too low. It ends up belt high down the middle.
Neto hit a home run yesterday. Pokes one the other way. It sends Kyle Tucker back. Plenty of room. 1 gone.
Kyle Tucker, a little side saddle on purpose right there to keep the ball out of the sun.
There's a lot of it today.
The big fiery thing in the sky.
Oh, yeah.
Hitter number 27, Mike
Hitters
Trout.
will tell you Sunday afternoon games, day games here can be particularly tough to see just because of how bright it is. And then the relatively bright backdrop. The stadium seats here. Trout stands in, hitless in this series. 0 for 7, 4 strikeouts, and against the Dodgers this year, Trout is just 1 for 18. Overall resurgent season for him, though. His 16th in the major leagues. Just high, 2-0.
That ball was easy to see, but I know when people are in the stands, the pavilion, it's easy to see, but when it's only dogs out there right now and people, yellow seats can get a little glary. Need a few more bodies.
A hairy situation. In the air again, testing those shades again. Tucker has it spotted. 2 up and 2 down in the first.
Tucker's got a chance to tie a record.
That's right. Back in the lineup today after he had yesterday off.
Look at how he's testing his shades on his hat.
Yeah.
Very stylish, but not very effective.
Didn't look to need him on those first 2. Base is empty, 2 out, and here's Wade Meckler taking a first pitch breaking ball for a strike. Meckler had a bunt single yesterday. First 14 games with the Angels. He's hitting .349. Sheehan comes home with a 1-1. Yanked to right field. Tucker on the move. Lays out but can't get there. Meckler set it for second with a 2-out double. They continue to pepper it over there to right field. Tucker almost with a diving catch. Instead, the inning continues.
It was a great example last night. Alex Call diving in the 9th inning. Dodgers up 9-1. And you know what? They're still diving. Might be a large lead in the National League West, but these guys play hard no matter what the situation.
Second baseman number 2, Oswald Peraza.
Now the Angels just 6 for 59 over the first 2 games of this series. 5 games against the Dodgers this year, 5 runs scored. 2-out chance for Peraza. Been one of their best hitters, and especially lately. Knocked in a run with a triple yesterday to put him in front in the first inning, and is hitting .324 in his last 8 games. Former Yankee, first full season with the Angels. Over in a trade at the deadline last year. Laid on this fastball, and it's 0-2.
It would be a breath of fresh air for Emmett Sheehan to get out of this inning without giving up a run. With what he has done over his first 11 starts, as far as the 4th worst ERA in the first inning, would love to post a 0.
Ahead 0-2. A look at Meckler. And here he comes. A fastball to finish him off and to get out of this first inning unscathed. So the first box check for Sheehan. Dodgers come to bat after this.
With the helpful hardware, folks.
Well, if you were late to your seat yesterday, you were bumming because the Dodgers had an historic inning, the most runs they've scored in an inning in 5 years, and that'd be all they'd score on the night. And it was plenty in the 9-2 victory. And you can hear that Ohtani music playing. He gets ready to lead things off for the Dodgers with his SoCal Helpful Honda Dealers lineup. Freddie Freeman bats second. Kyle Tucker and Max Muncy both sliding up in the order. Pages and Betts getting the day off. Call in center field, and then rushing Ward, Rojas, and Freeland. Ohtani sends Soriano's first pitch sky high to center field, and Jose Siri makes the catch. Did Siri have his defensive card in his hand still? That's how quick you get put into action.
First baseman, number 5, Freddie Freeman.
Yeah, he's carrying his notebook.
That gives new meaning to use both hands. So 1 pitch, 1 out for Jose Soriano, who gave up 1 run over his first 6 starts this year. He was the best pitcher in baseball for the first month. Strike 1 on Freddie Freeman, but 7 starts since then. He's got a +5 ERA, and it's not hard to see why. He is walking everybody.
And it's not just this year that he's walked everybody. He's walked everybody since 2023. It's always been his Achilles heel. Always had really good stuff, great arm. Just he's allergic to wood, I guess. He just doesn't want the ball to be near the strike zone sometimes.
7 walks his last time out against the Rockies. When the Dodgers saw him back in mid-May, they only had 1 hit against him, but they scored 6 runs.
He got painted by his bullpen.
Up the middle, base hit center field, Freddie Freeman.
He got painted by his bullpen, but he set the table for the Dodgers with a bunch of walks and a hit batter.
Yeah, hardly anything over the first 5 innings. They scored 1 run over the first 5 innings, and then in the 6th, walk, hit batter, walk, El Bencho. Yeah. And like you said, the pen came in and everybody scored.
Yeah. They put gas on the fire instead of putting the fire out, but he lit a big fire.
And there's the line from his last start with a career high 7 walks, 58 of them total this year, the most in baseball. 1 on 1 out. Kyle Tucker's up, taking a strike at the bottom of the zone. Tucker had yesterday off. 0 for 3 in the first game. That splitter has been a big pitch for him this season. It's always been good, but it's gone to another level this year. Hitters hitting just .094 against it. That's the lowest average of any splitter in baseball. Bounce to first, backhand Shonowell. Yeah, takes it himself to the bag. 2 out. Freddie Freeman goes to second. And Max Muncy comes up. 2 for 3 yesterday with a run scored. Now 5 out of his last 11 after a 5 for 36 stretch.
Number 13.
Yeah, you go through a stretch like that, you're not going to nitpick and take it any way you can get it. And he had a couple soft hits yesterday, including the softest hit of his major league career. 23 miles per hour. His bat got destroyed, but still placed it nicely and reached in that 9-run first inning. First pitch splitter misses.
It was like a flop wedge at U.S. Open rough. Full swing and just barely came out.
Muncy, the #1 third baseman in the National League offensively when you look at on-base plus slugging, and he's also grading out as the #1 defensive third baseman in the National League. Good chance for him to start the All-Star game for the first time.
So come on, Dodger fans, get out and vote.
Roller to second. Peraza gobbles it up and ends the scoreless first inning for Soriano. Emmett Sheehan and the Dodgers get 7 strikeouts in this game. Everybody gets that free Jumbo Jack tomorrow with the purchase of a large drink at LA area Jack in the Box restaurants. It's 5, 6, and 7 coming up for the Angels in the second. Nolan Shonowell leads off and takes strike 1 from Sheehan. Shonowell made his return from the injured list yesterday. He'd been dealing with an ankle issue. Yeah, went 0 for 3 in his first game back. 24-year-old former first-round pick made it to the majors less than a month after he was drafted. Sheehan turns and throws. Yeah, misses high. Well, Emmett was saying lately the key for him, he feels like, is within his delivery. Before it had been too tense throughout. Now he's trying to relax early and then throw hard at the end. Not within a game, but within each delivery. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. It makes sense tremendously because, you know, if you're stiff, you're not going to get the same shoulder turn, hip turn. You're not going to feel as athletic. And throw hard at the end is after your foot strike. So now you can put all that flexibility and all that power into a stable environment, which is your front leg. And if you're stiff all the way through, yeah, things are going to be less as far as the ratios.
He strikes out Shonowell with a rising fastball. That velocity, which is at a season high 96 in Arizona last week, does it again right here, and it's had good life to it so far.
Yeah, he's one of the best in the National League at whiff percentage, one of the best in the National League at chase percentage. He got both right there.
Facing a lineup that has a lot of both of those things. One gone, second inning, Joe Adell. You were talking about this last night, but when you look at the rotation as a whole, you figured it would be a strength, and you knew Yamamoto and Ohtani would be a big part of that. But the floor raisers, the young guys outside of that, and Robleski's gotten some headlines because he's done it for longer. Sasaki's done it because he's a bigger story. But Emmett Sheehan, since the start of May, a 36-5 strikeout to walk ratio, and underlying numbers that are even better than the impressive baseline numbers.
What's great for these young guys also is the living, breathing examples of the veterans that are taking the mound in between their starts, because it's one thing to be coached up. It's one thing to have like the formula of what you need to do. It's another thing to watch your teammates go out and do it. So it's another level of learning. The thing you said about he likes to relax and then throw hard at the end. Sandy Koufax had a different way of putting it. He would say, see how easy you can throw hard. And what Sandy was trying to get you to do is to relax and also have rhythm. That the rhythm, if you get the bones in the right order, if you have the right rhythm with your delivery, and it's the correct delivery, you can throw hard and it feels like it's easy.
Check swing from Adele, lays off, count goes full.
This is a great equation for Emmett today with the Angels, the way they're swinging the bat, the way the Dodgers have shut them down in the first 2 games, and here he comes to start the 3rd game, and a guy that's very good at getting a swing and miss, and especially now with his fastball.
Here's his payoff. Up the middle, base hit to center for Adele. A lot of the plate with that one, and Adele didn't miss it. It's a 1-out single.
But the Dodgers are one of the few that their role players know what they're going to be called on in the biggest moments. You mentioned the other day about Alex Freeland taking batting practice every day after one of his first at bats in the big leagues. Somebody had a double in front of him. He's like, oh no, they're going to make me bunt.
I've been bunted since I was in high school.
Yeah.
Popped it up. And he started every day of batting practice since then with bunting practice. Grounded to Neto. And the Dodgers get back-to-back hits to start the inning, but do not score. It's the double play ball. The old friend of Soriano's that helps him put up the 0. Back-to-back world champion Dodger baseball on Sportsnet LA is brought to you by Jack in the Box. Get fired up with a Hot Ones Munchie Meal. Dog Day at Dodger Stadium. And a 2-0 lead for the Angels as we go to the 3rd inning, and Wade Meckler leads off. Enriquez stays in. It gets a swing and a miss. We've talked a little bit about Meckler over the weekend here. Native of Anaheim, Esperanza High School, who as a high school freshman was 4'10" and weighed 75 pounds. Said he was the smallest kid in the entire school, boy or girl. Bounces this one to a drawn-in Muncy. And he's the first out of the inning. He's always a good player, but when you're that small, it doesn't matter how good you are. Going to be hard to have anybody take it too seriously. Grew it a little bit and had aspirations of playing in college.
Number 2, Oswald.
And his dad told him, look, you're twice as small as everybody, so you're going to have to work twice as hard. You're going to have to find other ways to differentiate yourself. One of the ways that he did that was to try and be better in class than everybody. So Wade had a 4.4 GPA. Said, I'm going to go to an Ivy League and play baseball. Strike one on Peraza. Harvard and Yale both interested in him. And they both thought he was a good player. Grades were good, but then chose somebody for the last spot over him in both cases. Nobody else really wants him at this point, so he's thinking he's going to go the JUCO route. And then he's playing in the summer ball circuit, and an Oregon State coach happened to watch him score from 3rd on a pop-up to short right field, and he said, that guy is our kind of guy. Even though he's tiny, we're going to give him a shot. So he gets to walk on at Oregon State as Peraza goes down on strikes. But after a year, that coach leaves, and the new coach comes in and he said, Wade, we like you, but we don't have a spot for you anymore, and we don't think we're ever gonna, so we just want to be up front. You should probably go ahead and transfer. And Wade took 24 hours to think about what to do, and then he went back into the coach's office and he said, no, I'm staying, and you might not need me right now, but you're going to need me at some point. 2 years after that, he gave him a chance to be on the team again, which was a huge deal. By the end of that year, he was playing, and a couple of years after that, he was drafted. And here he is in the major leagues now, starring for his hometown team in the couple weeks that he's been up. 1 ball, 1 strike on Shonowell. His coach in Oregon State, the one that initially said, we don't need you, said he doesn't know how many times a week that he brings up the Wade Meckler story as an example for somebody else.
I get a little lump in my throat when you tell that story. It's just so great when people love something so much, won't give up, have passion, are dedicated, and it's a very lonely time because you and maybe your dad or you and your best friend or you and whoever are maybe the only ones that believe it can happen. And so you stick out like a sore thumb in your groups and wherever you are, people are trying to change you, and it's like, nope, I'm going to make it. It's awesome.
Used to take so many swings in the cage at Oregon State that his hands would bleed. And there were some angry times, he said, where he wouldn't stop until he saw that happen. Wasn't working hard enough until his hands were bleeding.
My off-season sport was hockey, and they would make us skate after losing a game until a certain amount of guys on the team started throwing up over the boards. We figured it out. We started throwing up earlier.
Wow, you got good at that, huh?
We started figuring out when we got to quit.
Shonowell's down on strikes. 1-2-3 inning for Enriquez.
Be one of the first 40,000 fans and take home your Dodger soccer jersey. That's going to be on June 16th. It'll be presented by Bank of America. Visit Dodgers.com/promotions for more information.
Dodgers trying to play catch up today. 2-0, last of the third, and Alex Freeland fouls off Soriano's first pitch. 9-1-2 coming up here. Freeland's looked good in his return to the big leagues. .353 in his last 7 games. And Dave Roberts is saying the other day he sees Alex giving himself a little more grace this call up, helping him handle the pressure better. Says he sees that with runners in scoring position. He sees it with the patience. At bat to at bat, he's been drawing a few more walks. And just continues the kind of growth and the kind of accumulation of experiences that you hope that a young guy can get.
He's a big leaguer in my book. Whether he goes up or down, he's going to play in the big leagues for a while. For ex-big leaguers, sometimes you can say to people like, I wish I would have played with you. Just a little jab, little confidence, you know, just to let them know. You don't have to break down everything about them, but you pass them by and on the bus or whatever and just go, hey, I wish I would have played with you. And other big leaguers, other guys on the team, they know what that means. I mean, when Rick Monday compliments Andy Pages the way he plays center field, you know he thinks Andy Pages is a center fielder, because Rick could play it.
Have you told Alex that?
Yep, just the other day, about 3 days ago.
What a great compliment to receive.
You know what? I didn't know the power in it until I said it to Ross Stripling at a Dodger gala. He was walking out at the end of the gala. He was with his wife, and I said, hey, can I say something to you? He goes, yeah. I go, come over here for a second. And I said, hey, Ross, I just want you to know I've watched you long enough now, and you are a big leaguer for a long time. And I just want you to know. And he would tell me years later what that did to him as far as through the tough times. It's like somebody else thinks I'm good enough.
Top of the order on Ohtani. How about though I would have wanted to play with you?
Well, it wasn't that, because it was pitcher to pitcher there for me. So if I talked to a catcher, like, hey, I would have liked to throw to you. If I talked to an infielder, hey, I wish I would have played with you. You were, you know, behind me on defense, or, you know, you grind out your at bats. You're the kind of guy I want on my team. But yeah, pitcher to pitcher, I would actually compliment them a little bit more directly, not as subtle. I've told Andrew and Dave Roberts, I'm like, I wish I would have played for you. You know, those guys are amazing. and you know, being around him and getting to know him. And the baseball people and the baseball players in this organization are definitely people, when you're in your prime, you want to be it.
Scalded to right center field, base hit for Ohtani.
I've never had to tell Shohei.
Can I tell you something that might blow your mind, Shohei?
Yeah, I wish I would have played with you. Sweet spot for him, low and in. The league tries to pitch him up and in and crowd him, get him to yell a little bit when the ball's coming near him. For that one, he can extend his arms and rake.
Brings up Freddie Freeman. Single his first time in above 350. The last 18 games for Freddie. Grounds this one through the right side, and he's 2 for 2. First and third with one away.
It can happen so quick, and sometimes it happens with the long ball with those two, and sometimes it just happens back-to-back pitches. Early on, the Dodgers were only hitting the splitter. Now they're not being biased. They're hitting everything. Especially you get to that portion of the order, the top of the order. If they start to see you and feel you the second time around the order, watch out.
Get some push-ups in, too, over there. All right, so tying run aboard, and Kyle Tucker coming up. Ground out the first time for Tucker. Dodgers have had a runner in scoring position in all 3 innings against Soriano. He's doing his best April Soriano impression. 1 run his first 6 starts. Even though there was still traffic, there were walks in there. But nobody was coming in. Anytime there was traffic, he was finding his best. The 27-year-old from the Dominican Republic trying to get his season back on track here. Here's his 1-0. Tucker taps it in front of the plate. Throw goes to first for out number 2, but Ohtani comes in to score the first run.
Far enough away from the plate that Rivero cannot turn around and get Ohtani. And that takes a good break at third base, and he broke right away. Not much of a secondary lead, but he didn't want to get doubled up on a line drive. But once he saw that it was far enough, he broke far enough and got it done.
So the Dodgers on the board, the tying run into scoring position, and Max Muncy up. Count evens 1-1 on Muncy. Grounded out his first time. Soriano's again had that ground ball working. 4th season in the big leagues. Got up as a reliever a few years ago, so his 3rd season as a starter. Induces another on the ground. Backhand Peraza. That does it for the Dodgers in the 3rd, but they get on the board. It's 2-1 after 3. Call to the bullpen is brought to you by Jacoby and Myers. Going to be a bunch of these today with the pen taken over in the 2nd inning. Henriquez goes an inning plus. Here comes Blake Trinan, who quietly is put together a nice stretch here. 8 consecutive scoreless outings for Trinan.
Number 7, Joe Adele.
Blake is on the trust totem pole for sure, but he is used like other pieces in the bullpen at specific parts of the order because he has really dominated right-handed hitters.
This part of the order, nothing but righties. Joe Adele takes strike 1. It's the earliest that he's been deployed in a game in more than a year.
This Angel lineup is pretty easy to deploy your bullpen against. They might be scrappy and trying to put the ball in play, but as far as handedness today, only 2 lefties in there.
Adele, who singled and scored his first time up. On an 0-2 from Trinan, lays off, and it's 1-2. Adele, Madrigal, and Siri coming up for the Angels in the fourth. Dodgers winners of 18 of their last 23 games, and all 5 matchups between these clubs head-to-head this year. Angels an American League worst 24-41. Big bounce it is short. Rojas charges, thinking bare hand again. Not going to happen this time. That was going to be his only chance, but Adele's got an infield hit instead.
It's a hit all the way.
Number 17, Nick Madrigal.
It's a nice example of Miggy knew how quick he had to get rid of it, and he went with trying to catch it in his fingers, where the play that he made the other day that was so outstanding, he on purpose made it try and hit his palm because he knew he had time to take another step and move in a way that he could roll it into his fingers. But the fingers have a tendency to do that when the ball is hit firmly.
Nick Madrigal had what feels like a game-changing at-bat his last time. Squared around a bunt right there, and it was hit foul. Might have gotten a piece of his hand. Pinched his fingers on there.
He wants to go to first. Sonia, the home plate umpire, is saying, stick it here and pick your bat back up.
I don't think that got his hand.
No, I don't think so either. Maybe the vibration scared him enough to think it did.
Yeah, but it was a 14-pitch at-bat his last time, and ended it with a walk. He had 2 successful challenges on his way to that walk. Key moment in the longest inning of the year for Dodger pitching, and the one that chased Emmett Sheehan. This one's off Rushing's glove, and into scoring position goes Adele.
I think Dalton was trying to frame that pitch and didn't get enough glove over there. Didn't want to take his glove off the plate, so he's trying to catch it in the pocket and leave the glove on the plate. And it just goes off the end. That's exactly what he's trying to do. He's trying to stick it on the corner.
Nasty sweeper right there. That's been the one for Trinan that has come and gone more than he would like. In his best seasons, it was just automatic video game pitch, but more elusive, the best feel for it.
Borderline, but no challenge.
Payoff pitch. Madrigal takes another walk, and the first 2 have reached for the Angels. Bottom 4 in the order for the Angels. On base all 6 times they've come up. 3 singles, 3 walks for this part of the lineup.
For me, a walk right there is not a cardinal sin, because the same ground ball to the right side that moved the runner over to third and possibly score a run with a routine out is possibly a double play ball now.
Siri bunts it. At first base, Freeman, his only play is at first. Successful sacrifice for Siri. Second and third, 1 away.
Glad that bunt didn't get in the sun. It could have been ugly. Balls the chopper like Ohtani hit yesterday. This one a little lighter, and Freddie gloves it easily.
38, Sebastian Rivera.
About half the height of Ohtani's.
So Adele's at third, Madrigal's at second, and Sebastian Rivera, the catcher, who knocked in the 2 runs for the Angels his first time, has a chance to do it again here. With that 1 swing, he doubled his season total for runs batted in.
It was an 0-2 fastball mistake, and he made it count. Didn't hit it real well, but hit it up the middle. Humpback liner, got the base hit.
This is 4th season with time in the major leagues, just a handful of games each year. Total of 8 RBIs over those 4 seasons.
Same count he had against Emmett Sheehan, but I think he's going to have to hit a sweeper here and not chase.
And he's done it again. Over the drawn-in infield, Sebastian Rivero, who knocked in 4 runs the last year plus, has knocked in 4 runs in 2 at-bats today.
It's a good pitch, but maybe 0-2 against a guy who isn't going to swing very much if you get a little wider, or he's going to swing and miss. Just a little too much height on that to give him a chance. Could he easily struck out? Instead, he barely put it in play and got a couple ribeye steaks again. He should be full.
Although he hasn't eaten in years. So.
That's true.
Outside on Zach Neto. His 3rd different organization, or make that 4th different organization, from the Royals to the White Sox to the Braves and the Angels. 27-year-old from Venezuela having a career day. Ball and a strike on Neto. Neto last night hit his 11th home run this year, but he also committed his 11th error, which is already as many as he had all of last season. And it's the most in the majors. Had an 0 for 23 skid earlier this season, and this is a guy who takes a lot of pride in being the spark plug at the top of the lineup. And he said probably put a little bit too much pressure on himself when he was going through that slump and felt the weight of letting the team down. But back to being himself lately at the plate. Here he chases the fastball up. He's down on strikes, 2 away.
Restores a little order this inning.
Two outs in Trout. 1 for 20 against the Dodgers this year. It would be great to see Mike Trout back at the All-Star game. He's not played in an All-Star game in 7 years. He's been named the All-Star teams, but hasn't played for one reason or another since 2019. And Mike's had 2 kids since then, so he's talked about how that would be a special part of the experience. Plus, the All-Star game is in Philadelphia, near his hometown.
We have to have one player from every team. You think about who on his team could beat him out. Who would be the sentimental choice?
For a while, it looked like Soriano was going to be the guy.
Yeah.
Overall numbers would still justify it for Soriano, but man, if Trout is right there, it seems like that's a easy decision to make. On this 2-1 from Trinan. Golfs it the other way into that bright ball to fire. Kyle Tucker makes the catch just in at the last moment to end the inning, but it's the 9-hitter again, Sebastian Rivero. He's knocked in all 4.
First 40,000 fans will take home an exclusive Shaquille O'Neal bobblehead. That'll be on Saturday, June 20th. Visit Dodgers.com/promotions for more information.
On to the bottom of the 4th we go. The Angels have a 4-1 lead as Jose Soriano goes back to the mound. Call, Russian, and Ward due up. Call, who came into the game just 1 hit this month, has 1. And as many trips up there today. Check swing infield hit. Here he swings at the first pitch and grounds it to Neto at short. 1 pitch, 1 out. Another ground out for Soriano. Soriano having his best start in a while right here. Able to navigate traffic each inning and giving up just the 1 run. Signed by the Angels out of the Dominican Republic. Really quickly had Tommy John surgery. And then got picked up after a couple years by the Pirates in the Rule 5 draft. And when you grab a guy in the Rule 5 draft, the thought is you're going to put him in the majors probably before he's ready, because you have to have him in the majors the whole year if you're going to keep him, or he gets sent back to the team that you got him from. So the Pirates get him, and then his elbow gives out again, and he has to undergo a second Tommy John surgery. The only reason he's with the Angels is because of that. The Pirates pretty much had to send him back because he couldn't pitch in the majors in the year where they had to have him pitch there to keep him. And from Jose's standpoint, he gets the news that he needs Tommy John surgery again. He said for a while he thought to himself, I might be done. I don't know if I want to go through this long rehab again, the lonely days of being away, not pitching. Rushing with a base hit to right. He's 2 for 2. And Soriano stuck with it, rehabbed again, came back. Complicated set of emotions coming back to the organization that left you exposed in the Rule 5 draft. Pretty much didn't want you. But he's emerged on the other side as a guy that they say, hey, you can be our ace at this point. And he's gone through stretches where he's looked like that.
Well, the glaring improvement today is no walks.
Here's Ward. Smacks it left side, and could be another double play. Wide throws corralled, and then a low throw's dug out, and it is 2. Second double play the Angels have turned behind Soriano. The back, world champion Dodger baseball on Sportsnet LA is brought to you by your Toyota dealers. We make it easy. Angels are 2 in the second, 2 in the fourth. To the top of the fifth we go, and what has become a bullpen game for the Dodgers today. Emmett Sheehan unable to get through the second inning. It was Trinan with a scoreless, or with a giving up 2 runs in the fourth, and now it's Alex Vesia on for the top of the fifth. And Vesia allowed an inherited runner to score on Thursday. That's not charged to his line though, and so 10 games in a row where he's not been charged with a run. 3, 4, and 5 for the Angels here, with a couple left-handers due up this inning. The first one, Wade Meckler. And a breaking pitch just misses inside. Ball 1. Meckler doubled in the first inning. Ahead 2-0. Angels offense that scored a total of 5 runs the first 5 games against the Dodgers, 4 of them today.
It's the largest deficit the Dodgers have faced since Game 1 against the 4-game set against Arizona on that last road trip. But they are one of the best comeback teams in baseball. 19 come from behind victories. Looking for their 6th sweep of the year.
Got a challenge here from Rushing, where he tried to, but I don't know if he got the challenge in time.
Second baseman, Oswald Peraza.
So it's a leadoff walk for Meckler, and Oswald Peraza comes up to the plate. Rushing's been on a hot streak with those challenges after he struggled with it first month plus of the season. A couple more right yesterday. Just a little late to the trigger right there.
He was hoping for a review on that foul ball earlier that got called a ball and ended up being a walk when it actually did graze the bat.
One and two. Swing and a miss on a changeup right there. Vesia's given up just 1 hit on that pitch all year. Well, the Pen had given up 8 runs in the 4 games in Arizona. Nice to have them a little bit of rest this weekend with a really good starting pitching these 2 days. Had a couple scoreless innings on Friday night after Sasaki. Last night just 1 inning of work. Fully rested, ready to take on the load today. Overall, one of the best bullpens in baseball. One of the biggest areas of improvement for the Dodgers this year. That's a strikeout of Peraza. 1 gone in the 5th.
First baseman, Nolan Stonewell.
7 of the first 13 outs, strikeouts. And so already those free jumbo jacks for the off day before the Dodgers hit the road, go to Pittsburgh and Chicago for the White Sox. Pirates, who are in playoff position, just got swept by the Braves today. Led that game 2-0, gave up 3 runs late. Still, though, Pittsburgh, one of the good stories in the National League this year. A team that hasn't made it to the postseason in more than a decade and has had just 1 winning season since. All the talk about, man, Paul Skeens there, you're going to waste that. Well, they got some offense this year, too, and in playoff position. 1 ball, 1 strike on Stonewell. And a similar story on the second leg of the road trip with the White Sox, who have lost 100 games 3 years in a row, more than 100. They're 2 games out of first place.
The wild card has given so many cities hope, and those kind of big turnarounds. Enjoyed it for years, but it definitely is a place where other places think about it and hunt. That's what the Angel organization was even maybe hoping at the beginning of this year, if they could really turn it around. But most people thought maybe they'll bump up against 500, but this has turned out to be a really tough year for them.
Vesia fires 1-2. Stonewell swings and misses at the fastball. 2 out. Well, bumping up against 500 would be a noble goal for the Angels at this point. This is going to be an 11th consecutive losing season. It's not just missing out on the postseason. It's missing out on the joy that comes with being in it down the stretch.
It's one thing knowing you can't win a championship at the beginning of the year. It's another thing that it turns out a little bit embarrassing.
Joe Adele sprays the first one foul. You know, they have had some huge names in the franchise in the last decade. Obviously, Albert Pujols was there with Trout, and then it was Ohtani and Trout. And some other contracts just gone wrong. You go back to Josh Hamilton not panning out for the Angels more recently, the Rendon deal. For an organization that was one of the best in the league the first decade of this century, with a world championship to show for it. And the steady hand of Mike Scioscia all those years. Runner takes off on an 0-2 that's hit foul. What a great example of a lot of times it's easy to take for granted who you have in that manager chair.
And Mike had a big voice on how the roster should be constructed because he was a pitching, defense, base running kind of guy. Yes, they had power. Yes, they had a good bullpen, but he really, you know, put his foot down as far as certain things and player acquisitions and how the roster should be constructed. He really was known for playing National League baseball in the American League with the aggressiveness and hitting runs and first to third, managing the bullpen and the starters.
Shot to second and past Freeland. Adele has his 3rd hit of the ball game. Yeah, and the Angels have him cornered with 2 out. Scioscia took over in 2000. Won it all in his third year. Went to the playoffs 6 times in his first 10 seasons. And then, of course, early on in Mike Trout's career, his lone trip to the postseason, 2014, they got swept by Kansas City and has not been back to the playoffs.
In Mike's playing days, he always said, I'll never manage, and everybody on the team, and including Tommy Lasorda, of course, our manager, said he's going to manage. He loves it. He had so many mound visits during a game because he was managing the game, especially on defense, that we'd start nicknaming him Mike Sociable. It's like, come out to the mound and visit with you all the time. And he was fantastic. I mean, if he felt like something was going sideways or somebody needed something, he wasn't afraid to just step right out and talk to you. And he was like Tommy. He could get in your face and air you out, and then moments later be your best friend. It was such a great balance between, I care so much I'm going to tell you the truth, and I care so much I'm with you, which made him a great manager.
0-2 on Madrigal. He would have struggled with the mound visit limits
yeah,
instituted.
Yeah.
Sociable.
Yeah, but he was awesome. He was a rock, and I said a great manager, but I was also an amazing teammate. World champion
as a player and as a manager. 2 on, 2 out, and an 0-2 from Vesia outside on Madrigal, who had a 14-pitch walk his first time, walked again his second time, and has scored after both of those free passes. Vesia's got 2 strikes on him. Nobody's been able to put him away, and that's been a story of this game no matter who's been up for the Angels. 6 hits, 5 have come with 2 strikes.
Mike Scioscia's home run against Dwight Gooden in the '88 playoffs, the NLCS, that it took us 7 games to beat him. If he doesn't hit the home run late in that game against Gooden, we don't see the World Series. Gooden was killing us. I don't even think a ball had left the infield for about 7 innings, and all of a sudden Mike hits a home run to put us on top.
So many moments like that in any championship run that usually there's 1 or 2 that everybody can recall, and that when you think of the '88 World Champions, you think of Gibby's home run, or when you think of the '25 Dodger World Champions, you think of the Miguel Rojas home run. But there are so many moments that lead up to that moment, without which the moment never happens.
No, they're all team championships for sure. And when you have reunions, everybody's looking at each other going, you contributed, and you contributed, and you contributed. So yeah, it is everywhere on the roster when you win a world championship that everybody has a piece of it.
This is going to be the 27th pitch that Nick Madrigal's seen in his 3 times up today.
And he's seeing all those pitches, and there's so much swing and miss in this game with the rest of the roster on the Angels.
Yeah.
It's like, come on, guys, I can make contact. What are you guys swinging and missing at? And then the number 9 hitter's got 4 RBIs. And what did he do? He just made contact. It wasn't solid contact. Neither one of them was a hard hit ball.
The Angels have talked about being inspired by watching the Dodgers sweep them back in May, and the fact that they scored 30-some runs and only hit 4 home runs. It was tough at bat after tough at bat they've tried to emulate. Another 2-2 and another foul ball. Another turning point for them was they were getting no hit against JT Ginn going into the 9th inning, and without talking about it, they all started to shorten up and just fought. And they broke up the no-hitter and eventually won the game on a walk-off home run. But you look at it statistically, and the offense has been much better, much more competitive from that moment forward. Breaking pitch winds up getting him. Madrigal challenging.
He wanted the no check swing, and then he didn't get that. So now he's challenging the pitch.
Turn it off. And he's right. By a lot. And now Rushing saying, why did we not ask down to first to see if he went around? A lot of questions here. And only one guy liking the answer that he's getting. That is the hitter who's still up there. Wow.
Oh my goodness, he did definitely swung at the pitch.
Still alive, Madrigal. He just can't kill this guy.
He had 2 challenges. He's 3 for 3 as a hitter on the challenges.
Yeah, that's part of how he's seen this many pitches. 31st in 3 plate appearances. The 11th of this one. First and third, 2 away. Vesia fires. Madrigal fouls another. He alone responsible for like 50 happy fans taking souvenirs home today. He's fouled off 7 this plate appearance alone.
If you don't have a ball yet, wait for his next at bat. Especially on the right field side.
Takes ball 4. What a day for Nick Madrigal. I mean, I don't remember the last time I saw somebody have a day like this, finishing each plate appearance successfully.
Vesia can't believe it. Dalton Rushing is mad about the swing that didn't get called, and now we got a pitching change.
And it's going to be Jonathan Hernandez coming in with the bases loaded. Angels have a 4-1 lead, looking for more with Jose Siri coming up. Jonathan Hernandez, who very quickly has climbed up near the top of Dave Roberts' trust tree. 5 games, he's given up 1 hit in 8 innings pitched.
This will do something for your reputation. You come out, and what managers are looking for when you come out of the bullpen is first batter effectiveness, inherited runners, how many you strand. Well, it's a big situation even with 2 outs. Keep this game in the balance. Don't let it go to the Angel side and kind of a laugher.
The hitter Siri, who has 2 home runs this year. One of them is a grand slam. Single and 2 walks to load him up, and a ball from Hernandez. The grand slam for Siri came a day after he had robbed a grand slam. Perfectly on brand with a guy who has really high highs, then a lot of swing and miss and some pretty low lows. Ahead 2-0 here. 8 strikeouts, only 2 walks in those 8 innings for Hernandez. Finds the zone, 2-1. Two and 2. And some pain for Siri.
Two-seamer that's sinking down and in, and those will get hit off a right-hander's feet, especially from the right-handed pitcher.
And that is that's not too far from where he broke his leg last year. His left shin. Missed most of the season with a similar looking play. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Bases loaded, 2 out. And now the count goes full. Angels have had this game in hand, it feels like, from the start, but the Dodgers still within 3 runs. Trying to keep it that way with Rivera on deck, who's knocked in all 4. Here comes the payoff. Siri yanks one down the line, foul.
The guys that roll over a lot, they foul a lot of balls off their feet. Guys that keep their hands inside, and kind of can keep the ball fair, they don't hit as many off their front leg. So one of the things that'll tell you as a pitcher is how to pitch guys like that. When they foul it off their foot, you know what their swing's doing that day.
Pop up, right center field. Tucker coming on, still coming, and it falls. Throw comes home, and he's out at the plate. 2-run single for Jose Siri, and he does it with 2 strikes. The Angels, 6 of their 7 hits today have come with 2 strikes. We'll take another look at that play on the other side. Games, you wonder if Kyle Tucker just never really saw this. Was playing really deep, but there was hardly any kind of break on the ball, which lead you to believe he never saw it. And it falls in for a base hit and 2 runs score to make it 6-1.
Yeah, it definitely had the distance and the altitude to be caught. And there was just something there with the vision that would keep him, because he is an outstanding defensive outfielder.
Rojas leading off the 5th. And the Dodgers with a tall hill to climb right here against Soriano. He's only thrown 45 pitches. Ground balls, a bunch of them induced, including a couple double plays. Rojas checks his swing, and he's ahead 3-0. 8-9-1 coming up here. Dodgers almost as many hits as the Angels, 7-6 in that column. Angels, though, taking advantage of the traffic they've had. Yeah, not just the hits, but the walks. That'd be the biggest differentiator in this game. Dodger pitchers have issued 5 of them. And Rojas takes one right there. That's the first of the day issued by Soriano. But coming into the day, if we'd said there's going to be one team with 5 walks and one team with 1 in the 5th inning, it would have been a pretty safe bet that the Angels would be the team that had issued all those walks, with Soriano leading the majors in that category coming in. Coming off a game where he issued 7 walks against the Rockies, but first free pass today. It's not a good matchup for him against a Dodger team that typically does not chase. Ball on Freeland.
Freeland gets on. If it starts at the bottom of the order, that's going to make this scoreboard look a little tighter to the Angel bench, especially with that guy lingering, and then Freddie Freeman, who those guys went back-to-back hits on back-to-back pitches.
Freeland struck out his first time. It's the only K of the day for Soriano. Here's his 1-1 pitch. Ball 2. Count evens. Two-two pitch. Spoils it. Stays alive.
We've seen the Dodgers in game 1 win a tight one. Freddie Freeman's walk-off home run. We've seen him win a blowout. In both games, they grinded it out no matter what the scoreboard said. And I expect them to give the Angels a run for the money here.
Couldn't lay off a nasty back foot curve. 1 out. And back to the top in Ohtani.
The comeback's going to start. They need to start right here.
Ohtani is 1 for 2 today. He's hitting .420 over the last almost month. It could take his average from around 230 to above 300. Fouls off a splitter. Shohei, the best ERA in baseball. Best on-base percentage of any hitter in the National League. Leads the league in wins above replacement, and it's a runaway at this point, and it's on pace to be historic. So just to give you a little context where he's at, WAR. Last year, Christopher Sanchez led the National League with an 8.1 WAR. Ohtani's already north of 5. On pace to finish above 13. Which would make it the second most valuable season of the live ball era, back to 1920. Only Babe Ruth in 1923 more valuable than what this would be if he kept on this pace. To have that kind of WAR number, it's the numbers relative to what everybody else in the league is doing. And just like Babe Ruth in 1923, who was hitting home runs when nobody else was. He had 41 himself. That was more than half of the teams had combined. Nobody's doing what Shohei Ohtani's doing. Yeah, that is the understatement of the day, but the eye-opening way to phrase it is with that WAR.
I love it when you break it down like that and tell us what's going on, because it reminds everyone that you're watching history. That this really is a special time in Dodger baseball.
Digs it out to right field. Joe Adele makes a diving catch and takes a hit away from Ohtani.
We weren't making those catches on Babe Ruth.
I was talking with Chris Garagiola, who is the Diamondbacks radio announcer, the other day, and he said that somebody asked him the question, who's the most underrated player in baseball? And he said, it's Ohtani. Yeah, we all know he's the best player, but it's so far beyond anything that we've ever seen and ever will. It's hard to, every day, I think, be properly mindful of what we're seeing.
Yeah, and in some ways, apologies to baseball. I don't think Babe Ruth's even in his class. I think statistically you could say, but athletically and the competition that Ohtani's doing it against, the world-class athletes of this generation are way better than the world-class athletes of that generation. It doesn't mean that those guys couldn't come into this generation and get these facilities and these workouts and this schedule and the travel and all the different things. It's just Olympic records are being broken all the time. World records are being broken all the time. These athletes are the best that ever lived.
6-1 after 5. Performance Spotlight is sponsored by your Southern California Nissan dealer, Sebastian Rivero, who has knocked in the first 4 runs for the Angels today, comes up to lead off this 6th inning. Career high for a guy who is going to dump another base hit into center field. Came in 6 for 45 for the season with 4 RBIs the last 2 years. He's 3 for 3 with 4 RBIs today.
He's an example of maybe the pendulum is swinging on exit velocity, because these RBIs are coming at about 70 miles an hour off the bat, 56 miles an hour off the bat. He is not even close to 100 miles an hour off the bat.
67 games prior to today, knocked in 8 runs, halfway to that today alone. Top of the order here, Neto. Oh, 0-2. Jonathan Hernandez staying in for the Dodgers here. Started his career with the Texas Rangers, pitched several seasons there where he was part of the pen pretty much all year. High octane stuff, and then years of trying to get back. Finally does this season with the Dodgers. And Dave Roberts is saying it's a case of a guy not knowing what he's got, not totally cherishing it until it's gone, but with that renewed perspective of having it taken away for a couple of years. He's always had this good stuff. Doc said that Josh Bard has done his thing again, though, and he has Hernandez convinced that his stuff is so good it doesn't matter who the hitter is or what their strengths are. 2-2 on Neto. For more on Hernandez, down to Kirsten.
Thanks, Joe. Yesterday, I had a really nice conversation with Jonathan just about the time that he had down, really about 2 years away from playing in the big leagues. And he was saying a lot of that time was battered with injuries. He just wasn't healthy. And he lost a lot of confidence. So for him, just getting back to where he is today, he said for him, it was just on only being healthy. He attributed a lot of his success to that, but also just understanding who he is at the big league level. And he actually also did a lot of praise for the bullpen coach, Josh Bard, as well as you were saying, as Dave Roberts was talking about, because there's so much confidence there. And so the belief that Josh Bard has in Jonathan, he said that has been so beneficial for him, just understanding himself and really leaning into it. And so he's just really pleased and happy just to be back here on this team and a part of this bullpen, guys.
That's a superpower that Josh Bard has. I can't think of how many guys through the years, dozen relievers that have spoken about, I know I'm going to get the guy out because of what Josh has told me. He's like a motivational.
He really is, and it's right up to the moment when you're warming up and he's right there behind you going over scouting reports, but he knows how much to say and how little to say in the same time, which is really good.
Trout up the middle, caught by Rojas. Well, he's a catcher as a player, Josh Bard was, and so his expertise, more than grip it like this, is handling the head of the pitcher.
Yeah, and with Connor McGinnis and Mark Pryor can handle the rest of that. Yeah, if you can handle the head in the moment, it's really good. And he went away from the Dodger organization for a while, but as soon as he was available, they grabbed him right back.
2 outs, Wade Meckler hitting a walk today.
He has a way of carrying himself that you feed off of his kind of, it's not an arrogance, but it's a confidence where you go, what he's saying and the way he says it, the tone, you know, the 80% of what you say is like facial expressions and posture, and he can say the correct things with the right facial expressions and posture that you really believe it and you feed off of it.
Is that 20% is what you say, 80% is how you say it?
Yep.
Meckler to second and a couple of line outs to the middle infielders. Finishing off the top of the 6th.
The first 40,000 fans will take home an exclusive Mookie Betts Game 7 bobblehead. That's the double play bobblehead. That'll be on June 19th. Visit Dodgers.com/promotions for more information.
Well, the Dodgers running out of chances here, down 6-1 to the bottom of the 6th inning. Kyle Tucker to lead off. Knocked in the lone run for the Dodgers back in the third with a ground out. Only one run against Soriano. Even though the Dodgers have had a base runner in every inning. A couple of those innings erased with a double play ball. A couple of them, though, he just kind of put his foot down and said, not today. After a month of May, where his ERA was north of 5. Who is he? Is he the guy we saw in April, where he was the best pitcher in baseball? Is he the guy we saw in May, who was not good at all? As usual, the answer probably somewhere in the middle.
Well, the backdrop of him walking an awful lot of guys throughout his whole career, walking a lot of guys on the string of starts that he's on now, watching what the Dodgers did yesterday in the first inning and batting around and scoring 9 runs, and then watching that and then coming out and throwing strikes today and not really walking people and attacking. I mean, he's showing some mental discipline and some strength that this is possible to repeat for a whole season. Is what are you missing on when it goes south?
He idolized Pedro Martinez as a kid and got to meet him last year. And Pedro, very much a student of today's game. He knows these pitchers individually, and he told him, you got more bulldog in you. You need to trust that you are as good as your stuff is, and you can be that guy. That was the first conversation, but conversations after that were, okay, feel like you have that figured out. Let's harness it a little bit and pull it back. Speaking of finding a middle ground, trying to do it there with his mentality as well. Here's his payoff to Tucker, starting the 6th. A leadoff walk.
You're up 6-1. You don't need to throw a 3-2 splitter. That would be a strategy problem right there for me. I mean, your sinker's really good. Your other pitches are effective today. Really, all you're trying to do in a 6-1 game and a 3-2 count on the leadoff hitter is throw a strike and see. I'll go strength against strength with you right here, big guy. I got 5 runs to play with.
Muncy is twice grounded out to second. And here is where anytime he's needed a ground ball, he seemed to get one. Knuckle curve for a strike.
You know, we said last inning that the comeback could start with Ohtani and then he and Freeman make outs. But you know what, with this Dodger lineup, the comeback could start anywhere.
Off the end to left and Meckler. Now Alex Call. Call 1 for 2 today. Highest spot that he's hit in the lineup today. And the Dodgers just 1 run in a day where they don't have Betts or Pages or Will Smith. Will 1 more day of rest with that stiff neck. And for Mookie and Pages, rare days off. And Dave Roberts strategically placing it up against an off day, so 1 day off becomes 2.
Alex Call led off the second with a base hit. With the Dodgers have had few and far between when there's been a men on. 2 for 13 with men on today. That's why you only see 1 tally up there on the board.
First time in a few starts that Soriano's gotten into the 6th. The first month into the 6th, into the 6th, into the 8th, and then 7 complete. On a 1-2 pitch. Call. Muscles it up the middle. Neto to first and high into the dugout. Tucker to third. Call to second. on Neto's second error of the weekend and his major league leading 12th of the year.
It wasn't an easy play, but it is a big league play that you should get an out. And I think the runner coming over there, Tucker distracted him a little bit, and that distraction, not only that, his own player, Peraza, distracted him a little bit, but he would say, I've got to throw a strike over there.
You got to figure at this point it's becoming a thing mentally for a guy who's now has more errors than he had all of last season, and only 65 games in. Perhaps the break the Dodgers need. Second and third, they're out of a double play situation here. Big deal against Soriano, and Dalton Rushing, who's looked good today, going 2 for 2.
Yeah, he's picked on a couple of low pitches, hit line drives to right field. Would like another one right here. Make him throw a strike. That's when you're at your best. Don't chase.
Good splitter.
When Dalton was really hot at the beginning of the year and he was hitting like 400, he took that attitude into his future at bats, which is I can hit anything. And that kind of led him to a slump for me. I think he's got to be in between being aggressive, but aggressively selective. But you can feel like you are bulletproof when you are hitting everything and getting hits. And all of a sudden, if you take that MO up there, like as soon as I see the ball, I'm swinging at it, that can lead you to some trouble. And I think he's finding that balance now between I'm going to be aggressive, I'm a really good hitter, I can hit anything, but I'm going to make sure I get a strike.
Back-to-back splitters put him in an 0-2 hole. In the dirt, blocked by Rivero.
The hardest hitters in the world to get out are great hitters that are disciplined. We see it throughout our lineup when guys are hot, and we see it throughout our lineup with the superstars. Dalton Rushing, he is trying to make that step forward to really be in one of the toughest outs.
1-2 from Soriano. Rushing lifts a fly ball to right field that sends Adele back onto the track. It is gone. It kept carrying, and it's changed this game. Dalton Rushing with a 3-run home run, and it's 6-4.
He gets a strike and he doesn't miss it, and it's right in an area where he's hit the ball hard today. Down, out over the plate. The other two hits, the singles, were more down and in. This one down, out over the plate, and boy, full extension, enough, pulled it, and just enough.
3 for 3, 3 runs knocked in.
I mean, the applause was so loud for that home run, you could just hear it in the booth.
Wow. And as you hear from Dan Iasonia, they're going to take a look at this and see if there's spectator interference here.
Nope. Hits the top, and then if it hits the glove going forward, it's fine.
Yeah,
I'm good with that being a home run, even as a Dodger announcer.
I think, though, that would make you good with that.
Okay, yeah. Whatever. Yeah. I'm rooting for it either way.
Rushing had 2 runs batted in his last 22 games. Hadn't had one since April prior to the Diamondbacks series, and with 1 swing, he gets 3.
After review, the call of no spectator interference home run stands.
So it's 6-4.
That's why we put our worst fielders in the front row by the wall. Don't be thinking you can catch it.
Left field,
Man, I'll be honest, off of the bat, I didn't think he got all of it.
Now, the wind is blowing out to right, and we're in a day game where it's 75 right now, so the ball's probably carrying pretty good, and he showed it, and that probably had backspin too. He had 3 things working for him.
6-4 ball game. Now Ryan Ward taking a first pitch splitter for a strike.
The 4th thing would be his strength.
And now it's Ward sending a drive deep right field and back to back. It's 6-5 as Ward hits his second.
This is the 6th game against these Angels this year. The Angels have scored 5 runs in the first 5. 6 runs today, but the Dodgers are trying to say that's not going to be enough. 2 big swings have pulled them within 1.
And now Rojas. And he gets into one down the line, but it's foul. Home run distance, but wide of the pole, and strike 1. Dodgers trying to match their largest comeback of the season. They trailed 6-1 in Washington in the opening road trip of the year. Came back to win that game 8-6. And this crowd has come to life. Finally something to cheer about, and they're letting a day's worth of cheers out at the same time. Young guys at the bottom of the order getting a chance. Taking advantage of it. Pomeranz ready in the bullpen.
This inning's got a ways to go with only 1 out.
Foul ground at first. Shotwell to get Rojas. And now Freeland.
Well, time for Alex to go stand on a base. Set it up for Ohtani.
Wonder if this is going to be the last hitter of the day for Soriano with the left-handed batting Ohtani on deck. Pomeranz ready to go. Freeland has struck out both times against Soriano, who throws the first pitch, and he's in with a strike. Splitter heavy in this inning. Poke to left. Meckler's got it. But it's a brand new ball game. Rushing and Ward both going deep. The 39th and 40th home runs this season from the bottom of the Dodger lineup. That's 7 more than any other team. 6-5 after 6. Couple home runs for the Dodgers getting back in this game. Rushing and Ward 6-5 to the 7th. And Jonathan Hernandez has already gone 1 1/3. Nothing new for him. Each of his last 3 games he's gone 2 full innings and thrown as many as 31 pitches in the process. Heart of the order right here. 0-2 on Peraza. Day where Emmett Sheehan was unable to get through the 2nd inning. Henriquez, Trinan, Vesia, Hernandez. piecing things together. And the Pens giving up 4, but the offense coming to life.
When you score 9 runs in the first inning yesterday, you feel like you can come back from anything, especially if you're playing the same team.
Peraza flies it to center field for Alex Call, getting a rare start there. He makes the catch. 1 away in the 7th.
This is some of the most wind I have seen here at Dodger Stadium. We don't see this very much, where those flags get moving like that.
First baseman, number 18,
balls to right field have got a big-time chance. That looks good for Ohtani and Freeman and Tucker coming up next inning.
Pomeranz has continued to warm, so it looks like the lefty's going to take over with a run of 4 left-handed hitters up at the top there, and 6 out of 7. Ball inside on Shonowell.
I think the wind is helping almost any ball now. Watching Pages go back on that last fly out, because that ball wasn't hit very well. Call goes back on that. He looked like Pages.
It's a good compliment.
Yeah.
Nolan Shonowell, who typically runs one of the lowest strikeout rates in baseball, striking out more than usual this year, and today is 0 for 3 with 3 of them. His first 3 strikeout games since opening day. Second game back after missing 2 weeks with the ankle injury, and we were talking yesterday. He said that he's not close to 100%, about 85% that ankle. Looking and seeing his team in dire straits, though. And I'm ready enough. 24-year-old from Boca Raton, Florida. First round pick out of FAU 2023. On this 3-1 from Hernandez. Watches ball 4, and he's on for the first time today. Way too much of that today for the Dodger pitching staff. That's the 6th walk. And really the difference in the game at this point. 4 of those first 5 walks have come in to score.
Right fielder, number 7, Joe Adell.
Kyle Hurt begins to loosen. Joe Adell to the plate, and he unloads on a ball. Oh my goodness, Joe Adell near the top of the pavilion. A 4 for 4 day and a flourish to make it that right there.
I think the Angels were probably losing hope, but this one swing here brings their hope back that they can get 1 win out of this series. That ball is, it should count for more than 2 when they hit it that far.
First 4-hit game for Joe Adell since 2022. And a strike on Madrigal.
That helps those Angels. The Dodgers are not going to give up. Still have 9 outs on offense. They can do plenty with that.
How about what's going on from the bottom of the Angels order today? 6 through 9, a combined 8 for 8 with 4 walks. Madrigal towards the middle makes it 9 for 9. This has got to be like, I don't know if historic, but there's no way any team has done it like this year.
No, I think you're safe saying like 10 years.
9 for 9,
Number 28, Jose
4 walks, 6 runs scored, 8 runs batted in. 6 through 9 in the Angels lineup. Siri takes a ball.
Only 1 out, and that was a sacrifice.
Siri left side and through. 10 for 10.
Let's get to the top of the order so he gets some outs. This one finds the 6 hole. It's a 2-hopper by Muncy. Miguel Rojas has no shot at it either.
Yeah, the top 2 guys in the lineup, Neto and Trout, 0 for 8 combined. Adele, Magical, Siri, and this guy, Rivero, 10 for 10. On base 14 out of 14 official plate appearances. Magical, by the way, put it in place so quickly, didn't give a chance to let you know that he's the first guy with 2 12-pitch plate appearances in the same game in 10 years. He added a single to his perfect day. 3 walks, now the single. Supporting cast celebration for the Angels today. Got the lead back to 8-5. First and second, 1 away. Ball and a strike. Shot to right center field, and would you believe a 4-hit game for Sebastian Rivero? He's got to feel like this is a dream.
11 for 11.
I've lost track.
Yeah, I think we are, and I think you can go back 50 years at least now.
Yep, 11 for 11, 4 walks, 6 through 9 in the lineup.
And the problem for them in that record is they're going to get to come up again.
Right. You know, it's historic in some way. It's just going to be a matter of quantifying it.
It's crazy.
Neto trying to get involved at the top of the order. A blast to straightaway center field. Goodbye. And the Angels have responded with a bang. Dodgers cut it to 1. And then the Angels explode for 5.
He hit it well, but at 101 to straightaway center, it can land on the warning track, but there is some wind and it is blowing straight out now instead of the right.
And by 5, I mean 6.
This one makes it that. And it just is barely over the wall, but you can tell the route that Alex Call is running. The reason there's little hesitations as he goes back is because he's expecting it to come down and then the wind is boosting it.
We're going to pitch and change here in the 7th. Jack Dreyer's on to pitch. Gave up a run in the 9th inning last night. Finished off that game. The Dodger pitching staff in this 18-5 stretch giving up just a little more than 2 runs per game, but 12 of them today. Trout, the 8th man to bat in this inning, looks at strike 1.
This is a perfect example of the contrast between when your starters go deep into the game and then Dave Roberts and Mark Pryor can deploy who they want in what situation they want, compared to when your starter has a short outing and now you're just pitching people because you have to, and you're just at points in this game, they're just trying to get innings and get outs. At another point in the game, it's getting close, and they're thinking, what can we do now to extend this? You get the short term in your head, you have the long term in your head. You got an off day tomorrow, you got a short start, you got guys that need work, guys that need to rest. And it's turned the wrong way on them, but this equation has not happened very often over the last 3 weeks.
This is the first time all year that they've given up double-digit runs in a game. The Angels have batted around here in the 7th. In fact, these 6 runs in this inning alone would match the most they've given up in a game over the 18-5 stretch. Grounded to second. Freeland sizes it up and over to first and the inning. 7th inning stretch brought to you by Sit and Sleep, SoCal's most trusted mattress store. Is Drew Pomeranz for the last of the 7th. Top of the order for the Dodgers coming up. Ohtani to lead off. 1 for 3. Singled and scored back in the 3rd. All right, so we did find out it is the first time in the live ball era that the bottom 4 in an order started a game 10 for 10 or better.
Wow.
Never has there been a game where the bottom 4 in the order finished with a perfect batting average. It's going to get tested because those guys are going to come up again. That's insane.
It really is. And in a 9-inning game, if this ends up being a 9-inning game, for the bottom of the order to get that many hits.
Ohtani slaps this one to 3rd. Diving stop by Madrigal, but his throw is late. And it's an infield hit. Ohtani's 2nd hit today.
Infield hit yesterday, a chopper that went about 35 feet in the air where he started the 9-run inning. Will a check swing infield single start something for the Dodgers? They're going to need a lot.
30 base runners between these two teams combined in this game. 22 hits, 8 walks. Freddie Freeman's got 2 of those hits and has his average up to 283 for the year. Freeman at 283. Ohtani's up to 303. Shohei was hitting 233 less than a month ago. Two and two on Freeman.
Freddie's career goal of hitting 300. He's at 299 right now with 8,351 at bats. Wonder what he's got to hit this year to get it up to 300, like 310.
That's a lot of at bats.
I know. You think about just to raise it 1 point. At the end of a season, if you get a hit, it'll raise it I don't know, maybe 3 points.
One hit?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, it'll raise it a little bit, a tiny bit. Yeah, let's say you're hitting 300, and at the end of the year with 600 at bats, you go 1 for 3. It'll be raised at what? 1 point?
Yeah.
So you got a hit, and you got 2 outs though. So the hit takes it up 3, and the 2 outs bring it down 2 points. Right. So you get 301, I think. So I'm thinking, how do you take that kind of math into 8,351 at bats?
I'm not even going to attempt it.
Yeah, it's about 1/12 of the move of what happens at the end of a season.
Tucker going to challenge this call.
It's a batter challenge.
And he's right.
2 left.
Pitching matchups have been announced for the Pittsburgh series, and yes, the Dodgers will see Paul Skeens. Lauer for the Dodgers and Skeens for the Pirates on Tuesday. Could not have more different type pitchers. One of them right, one of them left, one of them 100, one of them not. And on Wednesday, it's Ohtani against Jared Jones, who's a talented young pitcher. Gets overshadowed by Skeens, but good pitcher himself. And then Robleski against Mitch Keller to wrap things up on Thursday. All those games night games, 6:40 here in LA, before they head to Chicago to take on the White Sox. Strike 3 on Tucker, is going to challenge again.
Another batter challenge.
This one looks a little wide to me. I think Tucker gets it right. Yeah, it was way wide.
Oh boy.
Yeah, that might be the largest differential we've had.
They didn't even put the measurement thing on.
They didn't have a measurement.
The ruler's not big enough.
Whew. It was a half a plate outside.
Largest overturn of the live ball era.
Come to the ballpark, you see something new every time. The bottom of the order going 11 for 11.
And eventually down swinging, 2 out. For Max Muncy.
Number 13, Max Muncy.
How about this? Tarek Skubal is already into his rehab. He had surgery a little over a month ago. 5 scoreless innings in a rehab start today.
What?
Yeah.
And that was loose bodies in the elbow?
Similar to what Blake Snell had done.
And what Edwin Diaz had done. The kid. That's really amazing.
Straightaway center field. Muncy drops it in there for a base hit. First knock of the day for Muncy. First and second with 2 out.
Every Dodger hitter has reached except for Alex Freeland. Some way either walk or base hit. 2 with big flies, Rushing and Ward. They could use one right here.
That'll be it for Pomeranz, who goes through 4 straight left-handers right there and hands it off to the bullpen. Alex Call coming up. Chase Silseth, who the Dodgers saw on Friday night. He pitched a scoreless inning and has not given up an earned run since April. Ohtani and Muncy with hits in this 7th inning. Alex Call's the hitter. He's got a hit and a run scored today. Yeah, he takes a strike.
It's a catcher challenge.
Okay, challenge. Shrugs and says, I don't know. He also said, my bad. But maybe not. Does get the overturn, and that strikes out Call to end the inning. World Champion Dodger Baseball on Sportsnet LA is brought to you by Morongo Casino Resort and Spa. Less than 90 minutes from wherever you are. Good times. All Angels in this one. Top of the 8th inning. Jack Dreyer remains in to pitch. And Oswald Peraza slaps the first one foul. Elsewhere today, the Diamondbacks avoided the sweep against the Nationals. They got rolled the first 2 games of that series, but came back behind Mike Soroka today and won 5-1. Padres trailed the Mets 7-2. They just snapped a 6-game losing streak yesterday. This is going to be their 11th defeat out of their last 13, with the worst offense in baseball by many different measures. Hitting .215 as a team, scoring just a little more than 3 runs per game. Lead for the Dodgers is 8. Padres were in first place less than a month ago.
There are some days that organization is hard to figure out. I mean, the way they assemble talent, and they get hurt, they assemble more talent. They just don't seem to put it completely together. They've taken the Dodgers to the wire a few times, but it just feels like they're missing something.
This year it's been their best hitters or their biggest name hitters just haven't hit.
It was just 2 weeks ago or so, Tatis hit his first home run.
Yeah.
Might have been like a week or 10 days ago.
And still has just the 1 home run. Tatis, his OPS, why don't I give you OPS plus, where 100 is average?
No.
91.
Ooh.
There's only one guy in their everyday lineup that has an OPS plus above 100. Peraza's down on strikes. Manny Machado hitting 172. His OPS plus is 70, meaning 30% worse than your average hitter.
He's got to be hurt and playing through something.
Jackson Merrill 200 average, also an OPS plus of 70.
their hitting coach has got to be in trouble.
It's former Dodger Steven Souza. His first year. Newsworthy right there, by the way. Oh, no, still not to that part of the order. I was going to say bottom of the order making it out. Shonawell with Dreyer cutting over there to get him. Now you get to that part of the order. Yet to make an out today. Adele, Madrigal, Siri, and Rivero. First time in the live ball era, which goes back to 1920, that the bottom four in a lineup started a day 10 for 10. Day ends for Jack Dreyer. And this feels like it may be a Miguel Rojas moment. No, not quite. Kyle Hurt's going to come in. Although stay tuned on that. In a 12-5 game in the 8th. Joe Adele, his last time up, absolutely crushed a home run against Jonathan Hernandez. His 4th hit of the day. First 4-hit game for him in 4 years, and a perfect day for this bottom of the Angels lineup at 11 for 11 with 4 walks, and they're 15 times up. Angels haven't had a guy get 5 hits in a game in 2 years. They got a couple of them looking for it right here in Adele and eventually Rivero down at the 9 spot. Kyle Hurt's on to pitch for the first time this weekend. Last homestand, he got his first win of the year, got his first save, and then struggled for one of the first times all year in Phoenix. His home run, by the way, was the longest one at Dodger Stadium this year, 433 feet. Down on strikes this time. So Hurt is the first guy to retire Adele today, and we go to the bottom of the 8th. Stay tuned when this one wraps up. The guys in studio with Access Sportsnet Dodgers, presented by Mercury Insurance. Jerry doing his best to battle through this one. He hopes the Dodgers do too. The last couple innings, Dalton rushing. Star of the offensive show today, 3 for 3 with a 3-run home run that for a moment had ignited some hope.
And that was hope for the team, and this crowd came to life. They were really into it. This home run woke everybody up. And now with the pitching giving up more runs after that, at least Dalton has had a good feeling today. He can take that into tomorrow, the off day.
Down the line, and he's got a 4-hit game. 2 singles, a homer, and a double for rushing. Puts his average at 287. That's 30 points higher than it was when he had breakfast.
He's hit 2 balls inside. He's hit a ball out over the plate, out of over the wall, and now he hits one away down the left field line. That was a complete hitter today. Well done. And he's only chased 2 pitches today when he swung the bat. That is very, very good.
Ball on Ward, who also went deep. Here's his home run.
picked on a breaking ball that was kind of laying there and didn't miss it. Number 2 for his career.
Ward 3 out of his last 9. All 3 of those hits have gone for extra bases. And in 7 games in the majors, he's knocked in 6.
Count, 7-run lead, 8th inning, man on second. It's really a conversation about don't try and save that guy at second. Like, we're just out here to get outs. Use your strikes. Don't try and get a chase.
Ward aggressive, thinking that he's going to get a strike after that visit. On a 3-1 pitch, Ryan Ward swings and misses, and the count is full. And down on strikes. Up comes Rojas. Mentioned Rojas pitching alert, but you got to have an 8-run lead or deficit to have a position player pitch. Those rules put in place at the start of last season, they got a little out of control how often teams are going to that. In the air to center field. Drives Siri back to the track to haul it in. Yeah, one more chance for Freeland.
Second base, number 76, Alex Freeland.
Came into the game hitting 242, gets a hit right here. He could actually raise his average with 1 hit. One for 4 and a possible loss, a lot better than 0 for 4 or 0 for 3 with a walk.
Ball 3 on Freeland. 3 very different games in this series. 1-0, tight and tense on Friday. Blowout one way on Saturday, blowout the other way on Sunday.
And the blowout in game 2 was quicker than the 1-0 game in game 1.
That's a rocket foul. Pretty sure we're headed for the longest game of the year here.
A little too much cheat on that 3-1 pitch. 3-1, 12-5, 2 out. You're up there with a man on who was cheating on something and just pulled the trigger a little too early.
Able to lay off. Ball 4. And Freeland reaches for the first time today. It's Ohtani to the plate.
Good mental discipline right there. You know, you're 0 for 3. The scoreboard's a little out of whack, and you could decide to hit for yourself. Let's take the walk.
We got a pitching change. In a 12-5 game, 2 on, 2 out here in the 8th. But the Angels don't get too many games where they have a chance to deploy their best arms and protect the lead, so you don't necessarily blame Kurt Suzuki for bringing in his top guys right here. Sam Bachman on to face Ohtani. In a 12-5 game with 2 gone in the 8th inning. Ohtani 2 more hits today. A wave and a miss, strike 1. Average up to 303 with a 2 for 4 performance. Well above 400 the last almost month now.
He was swinging for a home run on that first pitch. Looking to make it a 4-run game. He starts smiling himself when he yells. Another full cut.
Deuce is wild in the 8th. 2 on, 2 out, and another 2-2 coming from Bachman to Ohtani. Do it again.
It looks like the only way you're going to get him out or not get him to put it in play is if you get him to chase. He looks like he's covering the whole plate as far as strikes. Little chase right there, but fortunate enough to pull it foul.
Eighth pitch coming to Ohtani.
Trying to get on the same page on how to get him out.
Yeah, Bachman does. Out of the 9th inning. Well, the impression's been made by Nick Madrigal. Just 9 games with the team. He's got a 4-hit game in there, and today he's reached all 4 times. A pair of 12-pitch plus plate appearances. That's a lot of P's. Strike 1 on Kyle Hurd. First guy that's had that in the same game since Cesar Hernandez a decade ago with the Phillies. Fly to the right field corner. Kyle Tucker, who started the day moving over there battling the sun. Working in the 9th inning. Doing the same. Talking about this threatening the longest game of the year for the Dodgers. They've only had 9 games this season that have lasted 3 hours. We're at 3:15 at this point. The longest is 3:23. Game against the Cubs in April. Before the pitch clock, the average had gotten up above 300 or 3 hours. It was 3 hours and 10 minutes in 2021, the average game. 2 hours 43 minutes this year, the average. And that's 3 hours of dead time that's been cut out, or half an hour of dead time.
It's been fantastic to have the pitch clock. And I love the ABS. As they've experimented in the minor leagues with what they want to do to fix the game a little bit, to make it more entertaining, I think they're doing a great job.
How would you address the walks going up as a result of the ABS, if at all?
That one's going to take some thought.
Because with every tweak, there's an unintended collateral to it. Two and 2 on Siri.
Yeah, that's interesting. You know, you could say pitches within a certain amount of the strike zone are still strikes, but you can't do. You know, that
defeats the purpose
exactly.
of it. It would be changing
expand it slightly, the strike zone.
But then it's the hardest time ever to hit. And now we're going to make it.
Yeah, exactly.
And it'd be even bigger target for the pitchers.
And are walks a problem with the game, though?
They're not good.
They're not good.
Not for entertainment.
Yeah. But for offense.
Infield hit for Siri.
But for offense, they're good.
They're good for runs being scored.
Yeah.
But I don't know if anybody likes watching a walk.
Yeah. When you're down by 1, you need a guy on. But yeah.
I think we like watching balls in play. We like watching guys.
Oh, for sure. But I mean, you can't turn a game, and I don't mean just baseball, any game, into everything has to be a highlight. Everything has to be entertaining. There can be some time that, you know, you order a hot dog or adult beverage, or, you know, there can be some time where you talk to your neighbor you're sitting next to, or the guy on the couch. I don't know. You get to a point where it's like, you know, everything has to be exciting, or most of it.
No way. Sebastian Rivero has a 5-hit game. He came into the day 6 for 45 on the year, 160 for his career. And I think he's brought himself to tears almost with a 5-hit game today. He had 3 multi-hit games for his career prior to today, never more than 2. He's 5 for 5 in the game of his life.
It really is the game of his life. And, you know, tip your hat to him. You hope everybody has a day in the big leagues like that. You just don't hope it's against your team.
I'm going to say that's got to be the lowest career average or the fewest number of hits in baseball history going into the day to then have a 5-hit game.
We're seeing a lot of that today. With not the 5-hit game, but the bottom of their order.
Rivero, always a defensive first catcher, signed with the Royals out of Venezuela. Part of that was he always dreamt of being the next Salvador Perez and thought, hey, go be in his organization. Got to the big leagues in Got to be his backup for a couple years. Second season with the Angels. There's a gap in there, though, where he wasn't in the major leagues at all. And plays once every week or so at this point. And when he does, they don't expect him to get any hits. They expect him to go out there and do a good job catching the staff. They say he's got a great personality. Strength has always been not just the defense, but the soft skills of the defense and how he deals with everybody. Any hit that he gives them, gravy.
Yep.
5 of them today, drenched in gravy.
That was a lot more exciting than a walk. I wonder if Miguel Rojas is loosening up.
Cranking that arm around.
Yeah.
2 out.
Might not need to, but 2 out. The painful day gets over quicker if you leave Kyle Hurd out there.
Designated hitter Mike Trout.
Angels have 13 runs on 15 hits, and Mike Trout, future Hall of Famer, has none of them. Wow, so how about this? There has been somebody with a more unlikely 5-hit game. Cecil Travis, May 16th, 1933. 5 hits in his big league debut.
Because he was hitting 0-0-0 coming in.
Yeah. So I don't know if that's more unlikely. It definitely statistically fulfills that. But this guy's proven that he doesn't belong getting a 5-hit game and then does. At least we didn't know about Cecil yet when he arrived and got that 5-hit game.
Well, if it was Ted Williams that did it in his first game, I'd be like, that was, you know, this guy's going to do it. He's a super prospect. He's unbelievable.
Well, in hindsight,
yeah.
Cecil Travis is pretty darn good, too.
Was he really good?
.314 career hitter.
Oh, yeah. So that's not surprising.
At the moment it might have been, but looking back, it's like, yeah. When we look back at this day from Sebastian Rivero, it's going to be like, wait a minute. That's got to be a typo. Trout's down swinging. Finishes off an 0 for 6 day where he doesn't get to join in on any of the fun. Sebastian Rivero hawked that. What a day. Our road trip begins Tuesday in Pittsburgh, facing off with Paul Skeens and the Pittsburgh Pirates. 3 games there, then 3 games against the White Sox. For the Dodgers, Lauer, Ohtani, and Robleski in those 3 games from beautiful PNC Park. Mitch Ferris comes on to try and finish this game for the Angels. A 25-year-old from Charlotte, North Carolina, who was a 14th round draft pick. Yeah, now pitching in his 16th major league game, drafted by the Braves, traded over to the Angels. And having a good year so far since getting called up. Freddie Freeman leads off for LA. Offense has not been the issue for the Dodgers today. 5 runs on 11 hits. Walks in there as well. Freeman has 2 of those hits. But a day for the pitching staff that completely out of left field. Best pitching staff in baseball, especially the last month.
When the Dodgers have scored 4 or more runs coming into today, they were 35-2. So this is a rare game for them. They get 5 runs and look like it's going to be an L.
Freeman takes strike 3. And Tucker, one more at bat. Get an RBI, a walk and a run scored today.
23, Kyle Tucker.
0 for 6 in this mini homestand. Happy to be back on the road where he's hit like himself this year. Kyle Tucker, career OPS 854, road OPS this year 851. Home below 600 though. Two gone in the 9th.
They're going to turn the page tonight and go home to their homes. And are they leaving after the game? Sometimes they do.
They're going to leave on the off day.
With the off day, sometimes they'll leave after the game. But with the time change going over there, yeah, they're probably tomorrow. Sometimes they'll have the off day in the road city, so they don't take it up with a plane flight, but with the time change. Sleep in their own beds tonight and turn the page, get on a plane and start feeling better about yourself. You do win the series.
Go to the park that I think I hear people answer is their favorite.
Yeah.
More than maybe any other outside of LA.
Easy travel once you get to the hotel there. You can just walk across the bridge to the ballpark to work if you want.
I just mean fans saying going to the park.
Oh, that too. But the ball, you know, it's fun to play there. It's a beautiful place to broadcast. Yeah, it should be on your bucket list if you want to travel around the league and see a beautiful ballpark.
2-2 to Muncy, and it's fought off foul.
And you don't have to sit down in the first 15-20 rows. You know, you sit in the second deck, even the third deck. The unbelievable view of the city.
Looking back over the Clemente Bridge, you referenced being able to walk over. It's been renovated in recent years. Back open again.
And don't miss the Roberto Clemente Museum.
I've never done that, but I hear from many people that it's great.
Yeah, I have not yet. I've looked at a lot of pictures online. It's yeah, it looks like a special trip, but you'll have Steven Nelson and Eric Karros on the call.
That's going to do it. Mercifully, this one comes to an end. The Angels put a beating on the Dodgers like nobody has this year. 13-5, the final.
13 runs, the most against the Dodgers since last July 4th. That's when Houston beat him with 18 runs.
And then career day for Sebastian Rivera, one of the most unlikely big offensive days in Major League history. For Orr Hershiser, Kirsten Watson, the rest of our crew, Joe Davis saying so long from Dodger Stadium. 13-5 the final. Stay tuned for Access Sportsnet Dodgers, and the Dodgers back at it on Tuesday from Pittsburgh. Say.
What time is through 206 pitches?
Wow.
That's going to turn out to be an L.
They still win this series. They move on to a road trip that start of the season, you look at it like, oh, it's easy pickings right there, Pirates and White Sox, but not the case.
Yeah, there's going to be a couple guys in the bullpen. They're going to lay their head on the pillow tonight and want to turn it around. But the offense is going on this road trip feeling pretty good about themselves. They win the 1-0 game, then they have the blowout, and they get 5 today. They're feeling good with their bats on the road.
And they'll need to against Paul Skeens to get the trip started on Tuesday night.